2025 has come and gone, and that means it's time for Bourbon Saint's Whiskey of the Year Awards. We're going to have a bunch of categories. We're going to have a bunch of fun. Let's get into it. How are y'all doing today? My name's Chris. Welcome back to Bourbon Saint. It's already 2026, officially. And there were so many different releases this year as far as whiskey goes. I mean, we had a bunch of new ryes come out this year. Probably my favorite category of the year, honestly. Bourbons, of course. A lot of good craft stuff, too. I've got a whole bunch of categories today. This isn't going to just be your normal Whiskey of the Year award. What's my favorite bourbon? What's my whiskey overall of the year? We're going to have a whole bunch of different categories. A couple things we're going to talk about today. Best craft whiskey. As just mentioned, there's a whole bunch of them, whole bunch I really enjoyed this year. Going to be so tough to break down to just one, but best value whiskey overall. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be a new release for 2025, but it does have to be a 2025 bottle of that release that I tried, just to see if quality's held up or not, which to me is very important, especially these days as far as how the whiskey market's going. Most disappointing release. Those of you that follow the channel, you probably already have a little inkling on what that could be for me. There was one major disappointment this year, so stick around for that. Best new addition to a core lineup. Now, I did this in my years past when I've made a Whiskey of the Year video. I like this because a lot of times whiskey companies will put out releases that are going to be part of their core lineup from here going forward. This seemed like a good category, and we're going to include it this year. And then, of course, we got our bread and butter. Best rye of the year, best bourbon of the year, and then my #1 overall whiskey of the year. Full disclosure on this, guys. I wasn't able to try every whiskey that was ever put out. Most of them probably not, honestly. So this is going to be just my list, just things I've tried. I can't be going into stuff that maybe would have been better, but I won't know because I never got a chance to try it. Some things were sent to me from distilleries. A lot of things, most things I bought on my own. So just so you know that too, there's no bias, no discrimination in this video. Just my opinions. But I do want you to let me know what you think about this. As we talk about this, go ahead and put a comment down in the comments. Let me know what your whiskey would be of the year for each category we discuss. All right, let's get right into it. Let's stop wasting time. Hope you guys had a great 2025. Let's go. Okay, our first category today is going to be Best Craft Whiskey Release of 2025. Now, with each of these, I might throw in kind of an honorable mention as well, depending on the category, or if I couldn't just pick one, honestly, but I'm trying to limit this to just one. So my whiskey of the year, as far as the craft realm is concerned, boom, Woodinville, 9-year. This bottle was extremely good. I didn't have expectations of this bottle to be this good, but this is a 9-year release. Woodinville has done younger releases, 8-year, 7-year with years past. They're finally at that age now where they're doing 9-year of their own. And the cool thing about Woodinville, what they do is actually season their staves. So they'll leave them outside for 2 years, 36 months, I think, maybe 18 to 36 months, something around that. I didn't do research before this video. But they season their staves and leaving them outside so they're exposed to the weather, the snow, the rain, all that stuff. And honestly, I think it does actually make a difference in the product you get. Woodinville to me always has kind of a very sweet profile, but it's almost a fresh cut lumber or kind of a sawdusty note that always comes through for me. Not near as strong on their older expressions. I mean, that is certainly mellowed out. A lot of times when I get those notes, it's signs of young whiskey. But I think with Woodinville, it's just what they're doing with those staves and kind of how they age their barrels. But let me tell you, Woodinville, one of my favorite craft companies, just overall, now completely. Moving on from craft specifically, if we talk about a blending company, I already got it right behind me. Evernorth. This goes without saying. Those of you that are in the whiskey tube realm, the bourbon world online, Dan and Sean, boy, look at that. They are not just personalities on the internet. Like, they absolutely know what they're doing as far as blending whiskey goes. New company, but these things already are like trying to sell on secondary for the certain releases they've had. I mean, big time. Immediately, once they started putting out whiskey, it just sold like hotcakes. It was the next thing to get. It took me over a year to get this bottle, any kind of Evernorth bottle. But once I did, man, I'm telling you, the barrels they're choosing, the blends they're doing, the single barrels they're offering to stores, at least around me, have been wonderful. So if you guys could pick up an Evernorth or a Woodinville, it's a great option for anyone. Moving on to category number 2, we have got best overall value whiskey. Now, of course, I've got my go-tos always on this, so hard to choose just one. For me, overall value, and this is a bottle that's been out for a while, but their 2025 release is still quite good. Benchmark, foolproof. Now, of course, I'm a proof whore. I'm going to go with the foolproof. You know, I got to go with the strong one. We're talking $20 bottle from Buffalo Trace that honestly holds pretty true to that flavor profile, that extreme sweetness, brown sugar. It's hard to beat. It really is. These recently hit Michigan probably in the last year to where we had the whole lineup of Benchmark show up versus just the number 8. And let me tell you, I mean, I've gone through multiple bottles of multiple of the Benchmark lineup. So that's how good it is. If I want a foolproof at the end of the night, I don't want to think about it too much. I just want to enjoy it or use it in cocktails. I got no problem doing that with the foolproof. No problem at all because of the price, flavor profile, overall specs. My other go-to or honorable mention in this category, any guesses? Old Granddad, 114. Now, this is still really good. Really good. I mean, you never know. As mentioned, you never know when you go year to year on these whiskeys. This is still a $30 bottle or under in almost every single market. And high rye mash bill from Jim Beam. Jim Beam recently had some news about pausing production. Given that high rye mash bill, it is great in cocktails. Again, nearly barrel proof, 114 proof. And it just gives you everything you want in a bourbon. I've been saying this for years. Like, this is my go-to mixer bottle. I got no problem drinking it neat. In the summertime, if it's hot out, I'll just throw this with a little ice in the glass, and it's my go-to. So these were 1 and 2 for me. Could go either way, but if you're looking for a value option and you like a little proof, jump on it. Moving on to our most disappointing release of 2025. There weren't too many of these this year of stuff I tried. Kind of what I expected from distilleries, but there was one big disappointment across the board for me. And that was this beautiful decanter bottle. Old Fitz, 7. I was so looking forward to this, and I was fortunate to be able to get actually a few bottles of this. Overpaid in the beginning. Overpaid. And you know what? I still don't see this on the shelf. This is supposed to be, as mentioned with one of our categories coming up, one of their additions to a lineup. So this is going to be part of an everyday lineup. Not one I'm going to be reaching for again, honestly. It was just underwhelming in every category. Like, it tries to be a good wheated bourbon to me, and it just falls short. I don't know if it's the proof, or the barrels they blended, or maybe an off bottle I got. I don't know. But this whiskey is not connected with me at all. I will not be going back to this again. If I do, it will be strictly for research purposes, just to see if the bottles have improved or changed overall. A trend in the industry I'm noticing is when new releases come out, they tend to make those releases better to start, to kind of get you hooked on the brand. That's how I feel about it, at least. I've noticed that with the Elijah Craig Barrel Proof batches, historically. Or when they switched labels over to those private barrels, or took away the 12-year age statement, then all of a sudden that first release was really good, and then after that, kind of run of the mill, you know? So I'm curious to see if that's going to be the case with this too, but overall, big disappointment for me. If you like sweeter mash bills, you like wheated bourbons, you're probably going to enjoy it enough, but I would take Larceny over this almost every day of the week. Category number 4, and as I just mentioned in the previous one, this is a new addition to a lineup. And I think this was a good one this year. Wild Turkey 8-Year 101. Glad to see they brought this to the United States now. Always, I mean, those of you that watch the channel, you know, Wild Turkey fanboy here. I am. This has officially surpassed me as a daily drinker of my 101. I mean, 101 has always been that daily drinker for me, about $26. This one is about 40 to 45. I do still have a store I can find it at, though. I've heard throughout the country that it's either everywhere, it seems like, or none at all. So that's unfortunate. But for me, if this is truly going to be a shelfie bottle like they say it's going to be, I'm okay with the price jump to about $40 for this bottle. I think it's that much better. The mouthfeel, the flavor profile that comes through, it's all delicious. And I'm super excited this is going to be a shelfie available bottle for us, or at least I hope so. My only, I guess, gripe or concern about this is you can jump up to rare breed, which is higher proof, blended higher age, and only about maybe $10 more. So depending on them, if you don't want something super high proof, or rare breed isn't super high proof, but 116-ish, you know, this is kind of the sweet spot between the two. But if you want to pay a little bit extra up to that 50-ish, $50 to $60 price point, Rare Breed is really hard to beat at that price point at all. But as far as core lineup goes, it ain't going to be the old Fitz 7, so it's going to be Wild Turkey 101. All right, now we're moving into some serious categories here, folks. This is probably the category that gave me the most difficulty to decide one whiskey. I've got 3 that are contenders for this. Our best rye whiskey of the year. As you can see, I'm sipping one right now today. Probably haven't taken a sip yet, but this is one. Just cracked this open. This is the Sazerac Rye Full Proof. Oh, I haven't even put a review out of this yet. I will be soon, so keep an eye out for that. But I'm going to tell you what, this is like a baby handy. Just on initial impression. I mean, the age isn't quite there. The barrels they're choosing from probably isn't quite there, but this is just initial impression. Really good. This is a top 3 rye whiskey of the year for me. For sure, no question. My number 1 choice, and this was so difficult, man. So difficult to choose. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof Rye. Actually, another one I don't think I've put a review out yet this year of. I was hoping this would come up during my advent calendar. Did not. This thing is delicious. I have seen mixed reviews on this Barrel Proof Rye. Some people didn't really like it, and I don't get it. I mean, I don't get it at all. This thing is 108 proof. That's been the biggest complaint, 108 proof. But I'll tell you what, with a rye whiskey, this type of rye especially, you don't need that much proof. Honestly, it gives you plenty. 12-year, 3-month release. It's just great. I mean, for those of you that like Elijah Craig rye, you don't think about rye when you think about Elijah Craig. This is amplified to a whole other level. I mean, that age just mellows off any harshness you can imagine in a rye. And given the low proof, it is an extremely sweet flavor profile. Elijah Craig typically has a spicy flavor profile, but not for me. This is just chocolatey, silky, incredible mouthfeel, and it makes me want to keep going back to it. I only got 1 bottle. I regret it. There were 2 at the store at the time, and I was like, what if it's a bad release? I've been burned on Elijah Craig lately. Shouldn't have. My other contender for this year was Sagamore 10-year. Really, really good release, guys. Really good release. And that's only about a $70 bottle, honestly, too. It was tough for me. It was really tough for me to choose between all 3 of those releases. You know, our Elijah Craig, our Sazerac, and our Sagamore. Sagamore's had that trajectory of 8-year, 9-year, 10-year release, similar to Woodinville, as discussed earlier. That chocolate Maryland rye, if you're a fan of the Maryland rye flavor profile, it's their best release they've had at that age for sure. I mean, I always love their standard expressions, their finishing stuff, and the cask strength's always my go-to. But if you can get a 10-year rye still at about $70, instant pickup. Moving right on to our best bourbon of the year. Now again, guys, this is only stuff I was able to try. So I know that I'm probably going to be leaving some on the table I didn't get a chance to try. But for me, and this was actually a down release compared to some of the other years, but it's E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof. I finally, just a few days ago, actually got to try this at a local bar that had it. And let me tell you, allocation be damned, Buffalo Trace just puts out good whiskey. I mean, they put out good whiskey, man. As mentioned, I think this was actually a down release from some of the previous E.H. Taylor batches I've had. I mean, that for the longest time was my unicorn bottle. Like, let me get one of these bottles above the Wellers, above the Stags, I mean, all that stuff. And because I got to try a sample at someone's house of one of the old batches, one of the very first batches, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was a life-changing whiskey. This one's still really good. I mean, E.H. Taylor always walks that line of rich, deep, dark fruit, and then immense sweetness and brighter fruits as well, like pear, apple, peach, all that stuff. I mean, it toes that line, and as you get into the barrel proof expression, it definitely leans more towards those darker notes. But the mouthfeel and finish on that whiskey I had was great. I mean, just great. And let me say, this is the first year I've actually seen it available. I understand the tariffs going on, and 2025 was a weird year for whiskey. I mean, I've seen bottles on shelves. Never in my life had I ever seen an E.H. Taylor bottle on the shelf. Even a small batch. I mean, I had to know someone to get it, and now it's actually becoming a little available, and I'm seeing barrel proof. I didn't buy one because they wanted $300 for it, which is above secondary market, so you must be out your damn mind. But either way, very good release. Probably my bourbon of the year this year overall. For what I got to try, wish I had got to try the Russells this year. Wish I had got to try Jack Daniel's 10, 12, 14. I didn't. Knob Creek 21. Those big names I didn't get to try. I mean, I didn't, you know. So unfortunately, I didn't get to. They may have been better. Would love to try them to see if they were actually better. But for me, E.H. Taylor took the cake this year. Finally, our overall whiskey of the year for 2025 is Jack Daniel's Heritage Barrel. I went back and forth on this. Because I tried this blind and it actually didn't fare as well as I thought. I revisited it again not blind, and I was like, oh, it's my whiskey of the year. It is. This probably could have been also considered best bourbon of the year, but you know what? Tennessee whiskey, we just called it our whiskey of the year, which it is. Jack Daniel's Heritage, this release specifically, really, really good. Again, supposed to be a core lineup edition. They're saying it's going to be available everywhere. I won't believe it till I see it. I've actually been seeing it though more, so maybe it is going to be true. You know, like the Wild Turkey 101 8-year. We'll see. This thing, though, is all toasted marshmallow, delicious brown sugar, maple. And actually, it's a full-proof bourbon, for those of you that don't know. They barrel this thing at 100 proof, they bottle it at 100 proof, aged for 7 years in the prime part of the rick house, and it's a really, really good release. Really good release. A lot of people that watch my video are big Jack Daniel's fans, as they should be. I am as well, you know if you've been watching. So this Heritage Barrel, it really lived up to being a Heritage release. I loved it. Whiskey of the year for me in 2025, and I can't think of a better one I got to try. I hope you got to try it too. All right, well, that was just a few of my favorite and not so favorite bottles of 2025, but overall, very good year for 2025 whiskey. Hopefully in 2026, I'll get to try some more stuff, some more limited stuff. My allocation luck will be a little better. Maybe distilleries will like me a little more. We'll see. But I had a lot of fun, guys. A lot of fun. 2026 will be another fun one, I'm sure. There's a lot of good stuff upcoming for this year as far as the channel goes, as far as whiskey in general goes. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know down in the comment, what did I miss on this list? What did you get to try that was your favorite release of 2025, or really any of these categories? I just want to hear from you. Appreciate each and every one of you being here today. Thank you so much for watching the Whiskey of the Year Awards. Stay tuned for the next one. I got something big planned. Stay insane.